Your background looks great.
Now I can, if you take the lights off, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But if the lights are directly on me,
It's
it wakes
really,
me out. So
yeah. And blinds you.
yeah, it absolutely blinds me. But good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 29th. It is a fantastic day to be a realtor here in Tucson, Arizona, and I'm proud to be a Keller Williams agent alongside of you. I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with this morning in Script Call. I've already been posed with our first question of the day, and that comes from Teresa Zizak. She has a client that she has been working on in the buyer process to get qualified for a loan, and she is currently trying to get them to sign the forms that go along with the buyer advisory. Teresa, why don't you get us into that? We'll start scripting around it.
Yeah, they're a nice couple. Use that word very loosely. Anyway, they have reservations about everything. For example, they started the loan process with Keller Mortgage, and it literally took them almost 2 months to finish giving them just their paycheck stuff. That's all he needed was a paycheck stuff. And they did that yesterday. He got them approved. And I mean, you know, they're approved for quite a bit of money, which is awesome.
What was your hitch on it so far? We're going to fast forward into that.
Okay. They don't like to sign anything. They wouldn't sign a buyer broker with me. I said, well, that's okay. And they would not sign this Keller Mortgage disclosure. They just totally freaked out this morning. I said, I dated this in June. It's required that, and all it is saying that I explained to you that Keller Mortgage is affiliated with Keller Williams. That's all it is, that I disclosed that to you. I told you about it. I didn't hide it from you. That's all. But they're freaking out.
I understand. Yeah, people freak out about everything. Let's put it out there, guys. Who's handled the situation? Who wants to help Teresa out? I'm going to let Teresa be the client because she knows the situation and she can respond in kind. Who wants to try to be the agent and script through this and get them to sign some documents?
I got to say one thing. I have to say one thing. If they won't sign a buyer broker with me, I won't do business with them.
Well, the new agent, you're very hungry and they're trying to buy a $550,000 home. So I'm trying to.
I understand that, but you know, your time is very valuable, whether it be a $550,000 home or a $100,000 home.
Yeah.
If they will not make a commitment, you have no commitment, and that's not a good place for you because you have to be running a business. And
all right, Dick, why don't you give her a script? You be the agent. Teresa, go ahead and tell Dick that you're just not feel comfortable. You're not going to sign anything.
Okay.
Well, hey, Teresa, how you doing?
All right.
Well, I hope you're doing more than just all right, but you know, we got to get this thing on the road right now, and we've been looking at houses and looking forward to helping you find the house of your dreams. But you know, I have got to get some documents signed by you. It's the state of Arizona. You know, everything we do is by state law, and for me to work with you, I've got to get a buyer broker agreements here. This is what it is. I'll go through every step on it, but whether you work with me or any other realtor, that's the way it is. So let's go through this form. It's very simple, and I'll answer any questions you have.
Well, we just don't feel like we need to sign anything. And we told you from day one, we're not going to sign a buyer broker with you. We're not going to sign it with anybody, you know.
Well,
we can find a house by ourselves if we have to.
Well, Teresa, we meet at the point of least resistance and point of no return. I cannot, you know, I run a business. I give you good service and good value, but any realtor will, you know, who's worth his salt will not do that. So if you want to do business, you want to find a house, you really have a need to buy a house, we can work it out, but I gotta work according to the law. I don't have any choice here.
Well, you sent me this affiliated disclosure, and I just don't want to sign a disclosure. Even though we got approved with Keller Mortgage, We're already approved. Why should I sign this disclosure now?
Well, all that states, Teresa, is that we have some affiliations with other companies, whether you use them or not. You don't have to, but we have to disclose it. That's according to the law of the state of Arizona. It doesn't mean that you're committing to that. It just means that you received a form, a notification that we've disclosed it properly to you. Is that fair?
Well, why should I have to sign it though?
Because the state of Arizona requires me to have you sign it. You have to, otherwise we are not in compliance. There is no wiggle room here.
Okay, we're kind of at an impasse, right? One thing we can do in this situation, Dick, and we could start off right back, is when Teresa says, I don't want to sign it, what can we ask?
Why?
How's a better way of asking that question?
What?
Go ahead.
I think it's the what. What makes you
Okay.
uncomfortable?
All right, Hope, you're up. Tag, Hope's in.
I'm in a final walkthrough. I hope my plates don't show. Okay, hey, what about that makes you uncomfortable, Teresa?
We just don't like signing any legal documents, and it looks too legal.
Oh. Well, this is part of our compliance. Is there any way that I could maybe send you a hard copy, or it would make you feel better about signing that way?
Yeah, you already sent me one, told me to print it out and sign it, but I just don't want to do it. So.
I understand. Well, with regards to working together with agency, it's kind of a good date that and in turn, I would want you to commit to me. That's what it really boils down to. I think we've built a relationship over the last, couple of weeks we've been visiting. Agree?
You cut out a little bit there, Hope.
Oh, we've been building a relationship over the course of the past couple of weeks, and I feel like we've made some good strides. I have a better idea of what you're interested in. As I mentioned, it's a good faith estimate on both of our parts. So would you agree we've made some strides working together?
Yeah, you've researched every property we've asked you about pretty thoroughly.
Great, I appreciate that. So if I send them over the way that you're comfortable signing them, can we try this again?
We'll read through it.
I understand. Do me a favor, go through with a highlighter, highlight every question you have, make sure I don't miss a step. Like me, you're, get busy, you get caught up. So we'll revisit tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, one thing we can, go ahead, Hope. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Let you get back to your final walkthrough. Congratulations on your closing.
Thanks, Hope.
Hop, Hope.
Yeah.
So one thing we're not doing is we're not asking that question. And I love that Hope jumped in there. Is Teresa, what's making you hesitant about signing this form? When you said, well, I don't like signing legal forms. You're absolutely right. I don't like signing legal forms either. You want to align yourself with the client, right? I don't like it. You don't just want to go, well, okay, we have to, it's the law.
Yeah.
With some forms, yeah, you absolutely have to sign the law. One thing that we can play onto is the professionalism. Like Dick was saying, I run a business. I do things a certain way every time, and I want to make sure that I stay true to that. Now, Teresa, I completely understand not wanting to sign a legal document. This document by no means puts you in a contract for anything. We're talking about the disclosure, because all it is a disclosure. Let me ask you, Teresa, does it make you feel better a company that's willing to disclose everything to you, or one that you just happen to find out by chance? You can see how you can move that conversation in a much better place.
Yeah.
Keller Williams, we're a full disclosure company. We're very transparent. We want to make sure that our clients have all the information they need to make a well-informed decision. Now, I completely understand the hesitancy to sign something. A lot of my clients are like that, and it's okay. I'm just showing you that I'm willing to disclose all the information that is imperative to your ability to buy a house, as well as all the players involved. Now, the buyer broker form is just our understanding that that we're going to work together and committed to one another. In the event that I'm not servicing your needs the way that you need to be, fire me. But I hope you give me a chance to have that conversation before you do. All this does is allows me to work on your behalf in the best manner possible. And you understand that we have an agency agreement between each other, and I look after your best interests, and everything that we talk about is confidential.
Okay.
If they don't want to sign it and you don't want to work with them, that is your choice as a business owner. I can tell you that I have put enough value into my clients when I'm doing the buying process that when I ask them to sign a buyer broker, it's just that conversation. We do it during the buyer presentation. And if they're hesitant about it, the same thing. Align with them, isolate the objection, overcome it.
Okay.
Awesome, Dick. Other than not signing this because you don't like signing legal forms, is there anything keeping from us doing business together?
No.
So, great question this morning to start off. I know a lot of us hesitate to get that buyer broker because the buyer broker is an employment agreement. I like to say it's an employment agreement. If I'm not doing my job and I'm not doing what you need me to do, fire me.
No, hey,
Dan.
I got to say this, and you're absolutely right. I tell people the same thing, you can fire me. But if you, with the nature of the business right now, the marketplace, with so many buyers out there, with so few homes, and if you have someone who, hesitates on the affiliation form, and they're going to give this hard time to you right now, it's only going to get worse. And would you rather go down 3, 4, 5 weeks in any type of a relationship, only to have the same thing pop up? Because buying a house is full of a lot of legal forms you got to find. Are they going to hesitate at the closing and say, I won't sign this, I won't sign that? I'd rather say, hey, it's my business. Maybe we're just not made to work with each other. And I know that we're all hungry to do business, but the last thing you want to do is tie yourself up with time with someone who's going to be wasting your time.
Okay.
I was going to say something similar, just as far as setting the expectation about the dozen other disclosures they're going to have to sign when they get under contract, whether it's, a pool disclosure, airport vicinity disclosure. They need to know up front. They're going to have to sign a lot of these things.
I mean, they've bought homes before. I mean, they just sold a home in Sierra Vista. I mean, it's beyond me. So, but I like the things you're telling me how to approach this. I'm approaching it more of an analytical, like, well, this is a disclosure. That's all it is. Like, no big deal. But I like align myself more with them, try to be more sympathetic, and let them know they got more disclosures coming down the way. So,
and it's all about the professionalism of the deal. You need to align yourself with the client, and you can't handle an objection with rationale. You can't. Because when they're saying, I don't want to sign legal documents, we don't know if it's legal, if it's an emotional or a rational response, logical or emotion, right?
right.
How do we combat one or the other? With the other.
Yeah.
The problem is with that statement, we don't know. And I love Eileen put in the chat here is like, can we ask them what makes them uncomfortable? We already kind of talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like when she says, what experiences have you had in the past that have caused this situation? Now we can find out if it's an emotional tie or if it's a logical tie.
Okay.
Well, I don't like signing things because I want my lawyer to review everything. Well, that's fantastic. Please send it to him or them. So, great question to start off with. Pardon, my son just woke up, so he's been snuggly. All right, guys, next topic. What do we got? Who's got something you need some help around? Daddy's working, dude.
Is that a new recruit to the Keller Williams family?
It is the boss.
The boss. Okay.
He's
good.
the closer. So what else you guys working on? What can we do? Let's spend your time wisely. Let's bring out some topics. Yesterday we really nailed home the ideas of doing price reductions, and how do we call a price reduction in a less aggressive manner? Anyone? Bueller?
A price improvement.
I wrote it down.
Market adjustment. Who-
Yeah, market adjustment.
What dictates the price of a house?
The market.
The market. So, and I love, and I'm going to reiterate this, what Michelle Ripley put out there yesterday is that the market has rejected our list price. It's a great sentence. Write it down. Remember it when you have conversations. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I do appreciate that we've had a ton of showings. We're not seeing any offers right now. Clearly, the market has rejected our list price. I think it's time that we discuss having a market adjustment. Would you like to make that a minor or a major market adjustment? So, all right, other topics. What do we got? Got some new faces on the call. Thank you for joining us. You guys are just dead silent this morning. Got nothing.
In the meantime, somebody comes up with a better idea. How do you, obviously you can control, but how do you manage the time of signing documents with escrow and your client? I have a situation that if they don't sign today and they don't move tomorrow, I'm gonna have 2 people homeless. So how do you
Okay.
coordinate that? How do you guys do it?
Weeks ahead. This is not something you need to do on the 9th or the 1 yard line. This is something we need to have figured out days, if not weeks ahead. When we're closing, when final documents are going to be there. Unfortunately, the real estate is, hold on a second. Unfortunately, real estate is unpredictable.
Mhm.
Your job as the coordinator of all of this
Uh-huh.
is to try to hedge out all of those potential roadblocks before time. So when you're saying how do you orchestrate it in the timelines and stuff like that, it's just having the pieces in play and being uber over top of your deals, knowing where everything's at, knowing the partners in play, knowing your other agents in the deal have things handled, your title companies have things handled, your banks have things handled, and if you're not getting responses, you need to go over their head, get things done.
So maybe it's just a emotion from the 2 parties involved. We have everything in place and it's happening, but I have those 2 like, you know,
We'll take his toy.
maybe that's
I need
why
to work a
I'm
little bit,
feeling like that.
So what do you mean by the emotions involved?
The buyer and the seller, they are the ones obviously that need to make the move. We have everything planned and organized to happen today and
Hey, take them out of here.
to happen today and to close tomorrow so they can move on and I have those 2 on my ass. Sorry.
Okay, what's the concern? Like what's the
They're
topic I can help
afraid
you with?
it's not gonna happen. I don't know.
Okay,
I guess I went
that's a
into-
huge scripting moment.
Ah,
If somebody says, I'm afraid this isn't gonna happen, how do you handle it? Hey, out of here and close the door. Now.
well, I told my buyer, like, you know what, we did everything that we have to do. You have to trust. And there's a lot of moving parts that I cannot control. And everybody's doing the best because that's how we do it. But I can't control it. I cannot
Okay.
tell you, yes, it's going to happen. I can't. But we're doing it. We have everything in place to happen today, but I don't know.
All right, who else has handled a situation like that where you've got some emotionally erratic closings that you need help guiding through? Dick, go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, so many closings end up that way. And I'm just saying this just to help my fellow realtor here. Don't take it personally. Don't lose sleep over it. Work things out. You're working with some very good professionals, but when things do go awry, just speak the truth and say, this is what's happening. Let's figure out a solution to it. Don't lose sleep over it, and don't question in your mind that you did something wrong. If you did something wrong, fess up to it and resolve it. Go to your broker. But we sometimes make too big of a things, and it just, I mean, I've been there. I have done everything you can imagine where I have taken the total umbrage of everything wrong onto my shoulders. And life is too precious and too short. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Work it out the best you can and don't take total responsibility for everything, because people are, people are people. They bring their issues to the table, both the buyers and the sellers. I've had sellers that drove me nuts. I've had buyers that drove me nuts. I've told my wife, I'm going to tell that son of a gun where to stick it. And she says to me, don't do that. And she's right. And don't take it onto yourself. Whether it be dealing with the irrational buyer who is afraid to sign anything or whatever, or closing. Life is too precious, and you work for the greatest company in the real estate industry. You work for a really good brokerage here, and we got a great market, and move on to the next.
And for the big thing there, Teresita, is when you're having a deal, especially right now in COVID, I have yet to talk to an agent that has had a deal go smooth. And that's just now the world that we're in. And having that conversation with your clients up front is assuring them that, one, you've done your job, and that's orchestrating with the other parties. Title's in place, like you said, title's there, bank's in place, docs are at title ready to sign, everything is ready to schedule. And I love how it was said earlier, is just have faith. We have done everything we can do.
Absolutely.
We have everything scheduled. All the parties are in place. Everything is scheduled for tomorrow, guys. Just have faith. Be positive. The one key element that makes all of this work is your energy. If you come at it like, oh, guys, I don't know. It's, everything's there. Not sure. We'll see. You have to exude the confidence, channel your inner Big Dan, right? And that's the confidence of, I have done everything I can possibly do. The title is set up, the bank is set up, the other agents are set up. Everything is in place. At this point, if it doesn't happen, we will find a way through it. It's the confidence of knowing you can handle the situation if something goes down. You have to be the rock sometimes. And that's just like, guys, chill. I got this. I'm Teresita. Do you know who I am? I got this. Just sit down, shut up, quit asking questions. I got this. Show up at title at 3 o'clock and bring a pen.
And I guess I was like, I went with the emotions of the guys, right? Because like you said, I have everything in place. Like, what else I could do? But I did tell them that I am very positive. That's what I told them. Like, you know what? I'm very positive. I have everything in place. If something doesn't happen, must be a very good reason. So trust. But I'm venting here with you guys.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I want you to vent with us, not with your clients. I want you to be stone-faced and confident with your clients, because that's what they need. In the storm, you need a steady boat.
Yeah.
Period. Everything around them is going to shit. I got to move. It's a new life. Everything's going crazy. So the script and role play part of it is come from confidence. And I'm going to let you do that right now. You're going to come from confidence. You're going to internalize the calm, slow your tone, slow your cadence, and speak confidently. Teresita, I don't know if we're going to close today. What's going on? Like, what happens if we don't close today? We're going to be homeless.
Sorry. Well, we have everything in place and everything should work the way it should. But I want to let you know that there's a lot of moving parts and everybody's doing the best we can to help you out and come to this closing, because we know that you have urgency to move tomorrow. But we want you to understand that we're humans and things happen. So I want you to stay positive. Everything's set up and we'll go from there. And we'll handle whatever comes to us at the time it comes to us.
There you go. There's definitely a lot of holes in there you're like setting up for things to happen. It's the confidence behind it. Make it simple. Teresita, I completely understand your emotions right now are very high. I too would be the exact same way if I were closing on a house and had to move tomorrow. But trust me, don't worry. We have everything in place.
Okay.
It's just that simple. Notice how I drop my tone.
Mm-hmm.
I just acknowledge the energy. We talk about mirroring a lot in sales. You know, mirror your clients, right? Mirror their energy, mirror their actions, mirror their hands, mirror the words they say. Sometimes we don't mirror because it becomes detrimental to the position. If someone's super erratic, do you need to mirror them? If someone's super aggressive, do you need to mirror them? So when they're super emotional, you need to be that opposite. You need to rock and be like, listen, I completely understand what you're going through. A lot of my clients do the exact same thing. This is a high stress situation. You hired the best. I got you. And if the far chance that something does go awry, feel confident that we'll get it handled. I'm not going to let you be homeless. I've gone my entire career without making somebody homeless, and I don't plan on starting now.
Hey, Dan,
Yes, sir.
there was a book written about 30 years ago called I'm Okay, You're Okay, about transactional analysis, about communication. And when you are dealing with somebody who are letting their child relation or their child emotions get the best of them, the last thing you want to do is communicate back as a child to reinforce it. You got to have an adult conversation. Empathize, of course, but you got to, as you said, you got to be the rock. And we are professional realtors. We're working for the finest real estate company in the world. We got the finest support, the brokers behind us. And if we can't do it, well, they're screwed, obviously, but we can do it, all right? And that's, Teresita, that is something, you have so much resources around you to take advantage of. Your broker, your fellow salespeople here, have the confidence because you've got exude that because you got to be a leader. A realtor is a leader, and you got to lead that client honestly, ethically, fiduciary, responsibility. But if you say we're only human and we're doing the best we can, oh my God, you just opened up a can of worms. Don't ever say those words again to any client. I don't mean to be so harsh, but those are the wrong words to say. You understand that?
Yes.
Good. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everything we do, guys, comes from confidence. And that confidence is built over a lifetime of career, study, practice, role play, and real play. I got told yesterday by another PC coach up in Phoenix when I was going through some things with her, having scripting with her. And she said, Dan, you just make it sound too easy. And I've heard you guys say the same thing on that call. Where do you think that comes from? Time on task over time.
Practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Guys, showing up this morning is the first thing you can do to better your career. Every day, starting off with the right mindset, getting yourself in focus, in practice, and in production. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I will see you on the All Partners call here in the next couple of minutes. And as always, be good to each other.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.